Today, I'm going to give you a dose of real estate reality, where I tackle the hidden challenges of home ownership in this one area. This silent crisis lurks in every yard and fence line across the country. What is it? Well, guys, it's your property lines. You think, well, maybe this is just about small disputes? Think again. Unclear property boundaries are responsible for a shocking 64% of real estate disagreements. And these misunderstandings, they can lead to more than just awkward conversations. They can spiral into costly legal disputes and irreparable neighborly tensions. This isn't just about planting a garden or building a fence. It's about your legal rights and the integrity of your property investment. So today I'm going to arm you with knowledge and tools to determine your property's boundaries with unwavering accuracy. And stay tuned as we decode property deeds, hidden markers, and consult the experts and master your domain. Avoid conflicts and ensure you'll never encroach or be encroached upon. And don't let a line in the dirt draw a line through your life. I will map out the strategies to protect what's rightfully yours. So become a property line expert in just minutes. And don't forget to subscribe. Help me out to get my 1,000 subscribers by the end of the summer. You can do it for me. Comment below as well. They're welcome. Have you had any horror stories around your property line? Well, let's start with some eye-opening statistics. So what's so important of knowing about your property line? Well, there's some eye-opening statistics. Like I was saying before, that 64% of property disputes involve disagreements over unclear boundaries. That's an NAR statistic. That's a significant chunk of potential headaches and legal battles. So knowing your property line can prevent conflicts before they even start. Imagine this. Imagine you plant, a beautiful rose garden, only to discover later it's encroaching on your neighbor's prized vegetable patch. It has happened. Knowing these exact boundaries can also help you avoid accidental code violations as well when building a fence, a shed, or a dream outside pizza oven. But what I want to do right now is go back to history. How did property lines get started? Well, property lines have a fascinating history in my mind. In their early days of land ownership, boundaries were often determined by natural landmarks like rivers or mountains or even large trees. Imagine pointing to a giant oak and saying, hey, that's where my property ends. However, as land became more valuable and populated, more precise methods were definitely needed. This led to the development of formal surveying practices where professionals use specialized equipment now and legal descriptions to define your property boundaries. So what are the key methods to determine your property line? I think there's three major ones that I found in my research. There's some free and easy options to some pro-level solution for this ultimate accuracy that you want to have. So the first one is decoding the deed. Your property deed is like the birth certificate of your land. The legal document that it is, it contains crucial information about your property, including its size, its location, and most important, a legal description of its boundaries. It's not really easy to read, and this description uses specific terms like meets and bounds, which define the property lines using distances and directions. Now, the legal jargon in this deed can be a bit intimidating. However, many deeds also have a plat map. Think of it as a visual representation of your property with clear lines outlining the boundary. But one huge tip here, do not be afraid to consult a lawyer or a title company if you have trouble interpreting the legal description in your deed. And very important that you understand this piece of paperwork and you feel comfortable with it, as there could be some hidden easements on your property that weren't disclosed to you, possibly the prior owner or this current owner never knew about. So it's going to uncovering a lot of details. Now you can get a copy of the property deed if you're looking at a property to purchase on the county website for about $5 or $10. So you can research the deed ahead of time. Now the next method is a little more daunting, however. It's possible. I call it the property marker hunt. If you like to pursue this method, then get ready to unleash your inner explorer. You look around your property for metal rods, stones, concrete markers sticking out of the ground. These could be property markers placed by surveyors during the initial development of your property. And if you find these markers, it can be a thrilling treasure hunt. I've done it before. It's been a lot of fun. But there's a little catch to this. Over time, markers can get dislodged or even moved accidentally through landscaping projects. So while finding markers is a positive sign, it's not always a foolproof method for pinpointing your exact boundaries. And the next, more accurate of the three, method 3, is to call in a land surveying professional. For the ultimate peace of mind and laser precision, consider hiring a licensed land surveyor. These are the real Indiana Jones of the property line world. They utilize specialized, sophisticated tools like GPS technology and historical records to meticulously determine your property's exact boundaries. And the cost of a land survey can vary depending upon your location or property size, typically ranging from $330 to $1,000 or more, depends upon your property. Now, while it's an investment, a professional survey can settle any lingering doubts about where the boundaries are and prevent any future conflicts between you and your neighbors. Now, as a little bonus, I can dive into some real cool tech tools and online resources that I found helpful in determining property lines. In this digital age, this has brought some really interesting tools to the property line game. There are mobile apps. I don't know if you heard one called Landglide that uses GPS data to give you an estimated idea of your boundaries. Although they're not accurate, it gives you an estimate. While these apps can be handy and it can be a great reference point, it's crucial to remember they're not substitutes for professional survey. Now, some counties and municipalities also offer online geographic information systems. They call it GIS. And they allow you to view property maps and tax records. Really good if you can get into one of those. Those resources can be helpful for preliminary research, but again, they may not provide the most accurate, up-to-date information on your specific property line. And remember, knowing your property line is an essential part of responsible homeownership. And by utilizing the methods and resources that I've discussed today, you can become a boundary line expert and avoid potential disputes, ensuring a harmonious relationship with your neighbor and a peaceful enjoyment of your own property. So there you have it. With a little exploration and the right tools, you can unlock the secrets of your property lines. You can become a true master of your domain. Get out there and explore and give me some comments. What horrors have you encountered with your property line? I'll personally answer them to you because it's very important to note. And I've just had this happen to one of my sellers who called me up. They bought a house. A month later, weeks later, wanted to put a fence in, and they were at horror at finding out that they didn't even own the fence. Well, the fence was there. They wanted to put a new fence on. They didn't even own the fence that was there. It was on the other person's property. So when you're actually buying a home that has a fence, some of the other bonus tips that I have is to get a survey or find out if the seller had a survey. In some townships in states like in New Jersey, most sellers do have to get surveys of the property. But like in Pennsylvania, where I sell as well, that doesn't happen. So make sure where you're at, you know exactly where your property lines are, especially if you're planning on putting a fence. And if you want to put a shed up and things like that, you have to go through the township anyway, get a lawyer, get a whole architect, get everything drawn up, things like that. So that's really important too. So when you're buying a home, not only to remember the property lines, especially understand how the property line, where the property line is in relation to what you want to do with the property, putting a pool in or putting a shed. And remember, there are setback requirements. Setback requirements are requirements that your property needs to be set back a certain distance from your property line. Usually it's 10 feet to 15 feet before you put any structure on it. And any structure that you put on your property has to be approved by the township. Just don't go building a shed and expect somebody not to find out. They will find out, especially in Philadelphia. Always happens in Philadelphia. Try doing anything outside your property to do anything, a deck or anything, you will get called in by the township, like the Philadelphia, they call it L&I. So make sure when you're doing anything, make sure you know where your property lines are, create these methods, and before you do any kind of structure, talk to me. If you're going to buy a house with us, let us know. What are your future plans? Plan it out. Then you might find the house of your dreams, you can't put in what you want to do on your entertainment in your background and your backyard and things like that. Diane Cordano here. Let me hear your comments about this. Hit the subscribe button. I need my 1,000 subscribers by the end of the summer. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.